Okay, this is a test about speaking at the United Nations. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, this is a test. This is Rajiv Jadhav. I'm a United Nations speaker and advisor, and this live has been set up as a conversation starter. Obviously, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm here to give advice and to answer any questions that anyone may have about how to speak at the United Nations. Now, most people, when it comes to speaking at the United Nations or even speaking in general, the question oftentimes is, me speak at the UN? Like, wow, but isn't that just for world leaders? While that might be true, but that's not the entire truth. The full picture is something like this. The United Nations is an organization that is tasked with essentially problem solving, right? So they are in here to solve a whole bunch of problems all over the world. Yes, some problems are to do with world peace and solving for preventing wars and helping those impacted by weather related disasters, as well as providing relief and aid, like providing food and water and things like that. Stop! Stop! Yeah, sorry about that. My cats are being a little bit crazy. Stop! Stop! Sky, stop. Okay. Uh, Apologies for the interruption. So speaking at the United Nations is yes. So the United Nations is set up to help countries survive disaster. That's one function of the United Nations, but the United Nations has other functions as well. In fact, they have 17 SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals, and the Lauren, hey, thank you for tuning in. Great to see you. And let's see. Oops. Okay. Uh, so where was I? So we're talking about how to speak at the United Nations, but also why anyone would want to speak at the United Nations. So yes, the United Nations has various functions. Uh, the main reason why someone would want to speak at the United Nations is to socialize an idea. And the idea is something that you care very passionately about, but also, but, uh, co-host. Okay. Hello. Okay. So the United Nations is a place that's always looking for solutions. It's looking for solutions to problems, and problems are varied. One problem could be related to something global, but then the other problems are related to innovation. It's related to technology. Now, that's where you come in. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, why would anyone want to listen to me speak? But also, what would I possibly speak about at the United Nations? The United Nations. Well, let me break it down to you. So let's say you're good at something, right? So you're either a business owner or you're you have a 9 to 5, and you have a 9 to 5, and you're essentially performing a function. And let's just say that you're good or even great at something that you do. Now, the fact that you're good or great at something, that has value. Now, obviously, it has value because you're doing it, and if you have a job, you're working at a company, they're hiring you or are paying you to do that function, and clearly you're good at it. That's why that's why you still have a job, right? Now that that function that you have could have a could have utility in places outside of your job. So let's say you're an accountant. Okay, so let's say you're an accountant. I chose an accountant because an accountant is a job that I think most everyone can relate to. It seems it's a relatively it's not rocket science. Everyone knows what an accountant is. Everyone knows that this is what the accountant does. It's bookkeeping. It's about tracking expenses and income and balance sheets and that sort of thing. And it's this profession has existed for millennia, and there are many people doing this. Now, let's say that you're an accountant and you're good at it, and you understand the right way of either maintaining your books of accounts or how to read a book of accounts, and that's your skill. And there could be many other skills that you're good at as well when it comes to accounting. Now, how this relates to speaking at the UN is that, let's say you're great at accounting and you do a small keynote at the United Nations telling people about accounting in general, but also what your perspective is with accounting. Now, that perspective is valuable because just because you know it so well doesn't mean that anyone else would know it as well. And secondly, your point of view of how you're seeing it is valuable because you're an expert, you've been doing this for so long. There are things that you know about it, about the work that you do, that within 2 seconds you can tell people one, two, three, four things that are unique to your field, but also how if they know those two, three things, they will be able to understand the value of what it is in their own work. But more importantly, if they are partnering with an accountant or they have an accountant in their team, now they are more informed and they know the right questions to ask. Now, how this relates to the United Nations is typically the people that attend a United Nations event are world leaders, yes, but also leaders of industry. So you have people from the private sector, public sector, leaders in government, leaders in public service, which could be either politicians or it could be a company or a school or any institution that has a public facing component to it. These people attend the events that are held at the United Nations to be aware of what's going on in the world, but also what's happening at the United Nations that they could either contribute to or just be more informed about. So this is typically who's in the room. So it could be members of the press, people from business, people from public service, people from government, people from the United Nations as well. And all these people are listening in with interest to hear what you have to say. And you say whatever it is you say about, let's say in this case, accounting, and you're saying this is what accounting is. This is my view on accounting. And by doing one, two, three, four things, I was able to get a company to benefit in one, two, three, four ways. Now, that is extremely valuable to the people listening because now they're thinking, oh, wow. So if I do this, that, and the other thing, I can just change things around. And these are blind spots. And I wasn't thinking about it that way. And now I'm more informed now that you've told me about, this one thing. Now, I've just used accounting as an example to illustrate the point that, accounting seems to be super basic and even boring, right? So I chose accounting. I was very specific in choosing accounting because if there's something like accounting which is boring or even perceived as being boring or very dry, then by you speaking about it, but speaking about it in a slightly different way, could add a lot of interest into what it is that you do, which of course has a lot of value and utility at the United Nations. So accounting is obviously just one example of many examples. Now, you could be a coach, you could be a consultant, you could be a communication professional, you could be a therapist, you could be an actor, you could be a singer. There are many things that people do, all of which the people are gifted in a variety of ways, and some of those ways people are aware of the skill, but also there are other skills that people have that they are not aware of as well, which could be of equal importance or even more importance. One easy way could be just staying focused, hard work, grit, tenacity, discipline, staying organized, time management, health management, staying focused on your fitness, things like that, even mindset. These are all components of what it takes to be alive, but also what it takes to succeed in today's world, regardless of what it is that you do. Now, even so, whether you're a mindset coach, or whether you're an executive at a company, or whether you're a startup founder, or a, let's say, a vice president at a bank, or whatever it is that you do, there is a good likelihood that you could be an expert on any one of these aspects, because you're still doing what you're doing, right? And you still have a job, and you still have people that are depending on you to perform, which means that you either are in decent health, which means that you have some awareness of the importance of health and nutrition, and could potentially speak about it from your perspective. It's all about the perspective that we're talking about, because that then gives people a different way of looking at it, and it's that perspective which has value, right? So hopefully this gives you something to think about when it comes to thinking about, that question, why me? Why would anyone want to listen to me? Or why would anyone want to speak at the United Nations? So this is one way of identifying as to why someone may want to speak at the United Nations. And it's possible that you already are an expert. It's just that you didn't know. You didn't have someone tell you that, you know what, aren't you good at this, that, and the other thing? And you just didn't realize it because you were just doing it. Many of us are operating on autopilot, and we're doing many things, accomplishing many things, and we're not even taking a second to realize the various things that we're doing, because we're super focused on the big goal that we're pursuing, which could be our quarterly target, or our sales goal, or our revenue goal, or whatever our goal is, right? And we're doing many things successfully. And like I illustrated, those successful things could be, exercising right, eating right, sleeping right, etc., right? So all those things are potentially areas or opportunities for you to speak about, and it's possible that your point of view could be super invaluable and could change someone's life, right? So that is, one aspect of it. The so let me look at it. It looks like there are a few people that have joined. Sweet Pea, Storm, Stevie. Yeah, you've joined. Thank you so much for jumping on. This is my first live. So we're in 2026, and this is, someone told me, I met someone today, and my video producer Alicia, who's been telling me since forever, Rajiv, go live, go live, go live. But for whatever reason, I've been thinking about either, okay, do I have to use StreamYard or Livestream or some other technology that I guess overcomplicates things a lot, more complicated than they ought to be. And that has actually prevented me from going live or doing anything like this. So anyway, that's just my little, confession as to why I guess it's taken me this long to go live to begin with. But here I am, right? So here I am. And the goal is to try to do this as often as possible at approximately this time. So I think it was maybe 6:15 when I started. So I will try to go live every day, or at least maybe 3 or 4 times a week at 6:15 in the evening. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to post it in the comments. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, wherever you're watching this, please post a comment if you have a question or a comment or something. I would love to have a dialogue with anyone who is interested in the subject of either being a professional speaker, or speaking at the United Nations specifically, or who just wants to understand a little bit more about what does it take to speak at the United Nations and to be great at speaking. Because if you're great at speaking, and there are obviously various stages of speaking, you could be great at speaking to a group of friends that are huddled around you at the bar or at your favorite restaurant or your favorite coffee hangout. That's one forum, if you will. Another forum could be a small speech or presentation at your BNI chapter or your Rotary chapter or your Toastmasters meeting or something like that. That could be another forum, or it could be a small little comment that you make at your place of worship. It could be a church or any other place of worship where it allows for people to come up in front of the room and make a statement. So so the thing is that you could start speaking in a variety of ways, and as you progress in these speeches or talks and you become a little bit more comfortable, and there are several resources that we have like Toastmasters and 1 million cups that give you the opportunity of speaking in front of people, or even networking, right? There are many networking meetings all over the place that are posted on either Eventbrite or Luma or Alignable or Meetup, or there's so many places, Facebook, that are talking about events. So if you go to an event, you could find a place where you can practice your public speaking. So it's really important to have an idea as to what you want to speak about and to structure your thoughts. So when you, and in fact, Toastmasters is a great place to start because it's a safe space. It's a place that is dedicated to helping coaching people on how to be effective at public speaking. Okay, I'm just checking on people that have joined. Perkusink, SCT. Hopefully, I'm not messing up your name too terribly. Nova and who else? Seville, PISSR, Allison, Izzy. Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining. A Wills. Yeah, so we're talking about how to help people that would like or even are curious, even remotely curious about speaking at the United Nations. Okay, I see Clea. Oh, oh, Claire. Oh, hey, Claire. Nice to see you on TikTok. Yeah, so we're talking about how to speak at the United Nations, and also why anyone would even want to speak at the United Nations to begin with. And the short answer is, if you're great at something and you want to share that idea with someone else so that you can give them a new perspective on either becoming better at the thing that you're good at or you have an interest in, speaking at the United Nations might be a great idea. And of course, once you've spoken at the United Nations, in a few forums, it doesn't have to be at the main hall at the United Nations. Of course, that is something that you could aspire towards and work towards. In that process, you could also think about doing a TED Talk. But I would first, if you want to do a TED Talk, which of course is a great idea, I would first invite you to think about, of the many things that they are to talk about, what is the one thing that you are most passionate about? Okay, so if you can identify one of the things that you are most passionate about, I mean, it's a subject that if I asked you, if I met you on the street and I said, hey, aren't you like amazing at this, this thing, like, don't you know the right way to look when someone is taking a photo of you? Let's just say that that is something that you know a lot about. You know about lighting, you know about composition, you know about angles, you know about all these things. Now that is something that you could potentially speak about. And everyone takes photos these days, right? With your phone, selfie, posing for a picture, all that sort of thing. But now that you're giving a speech about it as to what are the things to think about, now people are informed and are will really appreciate that input, that nugget, the download that you just gave them, because the next time that they have to take a photo or be in a photo, they're now thinking about a few more things which will potentially help for the photo to come out well, especially if they're in the photo, regardless of whether it's a group photo or a photo with them and someone else, right? So that's just one example of how something, a small piece of information that even seems insignificant, can be tremendously valuable, right? So if anyone has any idea or questions about something that you do that you would like to have more people know this thing that you do, feel free to post that in the chat. If depending on where you're watching this, it allows for you to post it in the chat. And I'm not too aware of the different analytics here, but if you can like this or press the heart icon or whatever it is, that would be greatly appreciated as well. I'm, learning this as I go. Oh, hey, April, nice to see you. Thank you for jumping on. Robert, thank you for jumping on as well. Audrey, nice to see you also. Bioswort, I'm probably not saying your name correctly, but yeah, thank you for jumping on also, and MS Nera to you. Thank you for jumping on, Tony A. Thank you for jumping on, Herb, and We Like Turtles. Oh, that's a cool name. Osiris, thank you for jumping on, Leonidas. Are you a are you a what was that 300 movie fan? That's cool. I love that movie. And Augusto E. Gustan, thank you for joining. Bolting J, thank you for joining. Sharon, 2005, thank you for joining. A. Wills, Easy Pets Salon. Oh, I love pets. I'm like super into pets. You might have seen some of my little rascals in the background as well, jumping up, causing chaos earlier in this broadcast. Allison, yeah, nice to see you as well. Okay, I think I've acknowledged many of the people who have joined. If I've missed you, I apologize, and hopefully I will get you. Miss Lynn. Okay, yeah, nice to see you. Is that a cat or a dog in your profile picture? It looks cool. Swati, yeah, nice to see you. Abby, nice to see you as well. Yuki, yeah, wait a minute, Yuki. And there's another person who's joined whose name I cannot pronounce because it's a whole bunch of alphabets one after another. Okay, so yeah, so we are talking about speaking in general, but also speaking at the United Nations. And the United Nations is often viewed as the Super Bowl of stages because it really is one of the largest stages that exists in the world. And yeah, so if anyone has any questions about speaking at the United Nations, yeah, just definitely let me know. Your favorite girly, cool name. I'm loving all these usernames that's on here. Great to see you, KK. Hopefully, I'm saying your name correctly, KK or Keki. Nice to see you as well. Yeah, so we're speaking about speaking at the United Nations and how it could be a great idea to speak because we all talk about changing the world and we hope that things were better and all that, right? So one perspective about that is sure we can I guess rant about it amongst our friend groups or on I guess what's that called FaceTime or on calls or in private conversation or amongst friends. We can talk about stuff, we can post about it on social media. I would invite for you, if you feel strongly about anything, why don't talk about it? Just broadcast that idea to a larger forum, speak about it. You never know that after speaking about it, that there could be 20 other people that would approach you after that saying, thank you. thank you for saying that, because prior to you saying that, I thought it was just me. And this is something that I witnessed myself when I was listening to a speech at Columbia University Toastmasters. It's a club that I used to attend for many years, and there was someone that gave a speech on I think ghosts and spirits and paranormal activity. Right, so they were talking about paranormal activity. They were using very carefully worded language, since I guess they didn't want to be seen as, like, this was a few years ago, where now it's become a little bit more mainstream to talk about spirits and the esoteric, and the other world, the supernatural. And this was, I want to say, pre-pandemic. This was 2019, I think. And back then, people would use just surrogate language about, I heard noises and didn't know what it was, and language like that, without calling out something specifically. So the point I'm making is, she was doing the speech about her experiences, and as I heard her, I was like, wow, yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about. And then I told her after the speech, I absolutely loved your speech and thank you for speaking about this. And she was like, really? I said, yes, because now that you spoke about it, I'm telling you, there are like five other people here in the room that would tell you that they've had similar experiences as you've had. And she was like, oh, really? I didn't know. I thought it was just me. And I was doing this speech without knowing that there was anyone else that even had these experiences or had this thought or anything like that. So I'm just, the reason why I'm saying that is it's a way for you to find your people, right? It's all about community. It's all about people that have shared beliefs. It's about people that might have had shared experiences as well. And you're trying to find your people, because when you find others that have had similar experiences as you, or have similar perspectives to those that you have, it's great to have that support structure, you know? And when you have that support structure, it's good just to affirm the path that you're on, because all of us need support. All of us need someone to cheer us, to stand in our corner, to root for us and say, I believe in you. I please continue to spread your message. I think you'll find more people like me and you that also really enjoy these topics. So the point is, if you have a certain point of view, even if that point of view is, you consider it to be controversial at this point or even taboo, until you speak about it, you won't realize whether in fact it is taboo or not. And again, you know, whatever I'm saying here is within certain guardrails, right? So I'm not suggesting that you come out and say something wild and crazy, which could potentially put your job at risk. I'm not saying that at all, right? What I am saying is, if you have a certain point of view on something which, where there's no possibility of any blowback with your regular job, your 9 to 5, or your business, then uh, it it would not be to your detriment to share that point of view at a forum, which ultimately could evolve to be at the United Nations, is my point. So I hope that I have motivated you to think about the various things that you're good at, that you could potentially speak about for 5 minutes, right? So again, when we talk about speeches, we're either thinking about, when the president makes like State of Union address, which I don't remember the last State of Union address, but I think it could be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like it varies, right? The State of Union, it could be even an hour. So I'm not suggesting that when you do a speech, it has to be for that long. A speech could even be 5 minutes, it could even be 2 minutes, you know? So I would really, invite for you to think about what is that one thing that you're very passionate about. Maybe it's movies, maybe it's TV shows, maybe it's a style of painting, maybe it's a style of illustration, in anime or manga, or there's so many different forms of illustration. Maybe it's something like writing or calligraphy. Maybe you really care about calligraphy, and you would like for more people to find out about calligraphy. Maybe there are different styles of calligraphy. There's calligraphy using the English language, there's calligraphy using other languages as well, even Mandarin and Arabic, and there's so many, like, all languages that can be written in calligraphy, right? Because calligraphy is a stylized way of writing. So if calligraphy is your thing, then speak about it. Tell us why you care about it so much. Tell us what it looks like. Tell us about how it can be appreciated. And in doing so, you will then attract other people that care equally about calligraphy. And and again, like, obviously you could speak about anything that you care most passionately about, because your passion is then going to be super infectious, and it's going to spread, and it's going to spread with the people that are listening to you, and they will feel more interested in what it is that you're saying when they feel your passion, right? So that's why I'm suggesting that you pick a topic that you feel passionate about. Maybe it's related to your work, maybe it isn't. But I'm just saying, whatever topic you choose, make sure that you're genuinely interested in it, and that you're super passionate about it, because that passion has to come across. And if it does not come across, and it's just like, okay, this is what I want to talk about because blah 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 blah. Sure. I mean, if that's your starting point, great. Everyone needs a starting point, but I invite you to be a little bit more energized about what it is that you're speaking about, because that is a good way of people to draw people towards you. You want to draw them in, right? You want people to come closer, closer, closer. So that is one way of drawing people in to. Oh, hey, Jen, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in here. Hey, Jen, nice to see you. Yeah, so this is my dear friend Jennifer, who I met on the reality show I was on called The Blocks, season 22. So Jen runs an amazing service. She runs a hair salon, and she's a hairstylist, and she does like a whole bunch of amazing things. So Jen, great to see you, and you should definitely follow her. I believe she's on both TikTok and Instagram. On, I think it's the same handle, Styled by Jen, I believe. So if you look for that, you'll find it. And then my dear friend April is also on here. Soul Brush Awakening is, wait, what is this? Okay, so Soul Brush Awakening is on here as well. So yeah, April, nice to see you. There are a few other people that I see on here: Lord and Savage Grace and Flat Tire. I love these names. CMB 90, uh, and yeah, a few others. Amory TTS Home, uh, Greg's Closet, Cheryl 123. Yeah, there's several other people that have joined. Thank you so much for jumping on. Great to have you here. Yeah, so I was just talking about my friend Jennifer. I would love to talk about my friend April as well, who is absolutely amazing at at what she does. April does a bunch of really cool things. She's known as the genie. Yes, the genie. Yes, you heard it right. Like Aladdin and the genie. You rub the lamp, and poof, the genie comes out and grants you three wishes. Similar to that, April does something similar. I mean, of course, there's no lamp rubbing involved in this process, but you do tell her what you want, and then she grants you those wishes, and those wishes do come true. I know it sounds a little bit fantastic, and what, really? Are you serious? It's true. I am serious. So I would definitely look up April. She is in the chat, and I think her handle is Soul Brush Awakening. So you should definitely look her up. as well, and follow her on Insta and TikTok. And you should check out her properties as well. I think you'll find what she does really interesting. I think she does like horoscopes and psychic reads and channeling and candles and oils and a bunch of like really cool things, all of which, when you really get into it, are very deep subjects. And I think that some of these things we just either don't take too seriously, but when we know more about it, we realize how significant it could be. So again, obviously, this is not intended to be some sort of a promotion for April, but yeah, I feel that I should recognize people that I know that do good work in the world, and I think us as creators, content creators, need to support other content creators, especially in their journey, because like I was saying earlier, everyone needs support, right? So everyone needs support. Everyone needs a little cheerleader in their corner saying, "Yeah, go ahead. I believe in you. You're doing amazing." That sort of thing. So yeah, so it's really great to see everyone here. Okay, Divine Im- Imperator. Okay, I think hopefully I'm saying the name correctly. If if I'm not, well, you could maybe post it in the comments about what is the correct way to say it, and definitely please tag me in whatever content you have. I would absolutely love to support whatever it is that you have going on. Let me see. What am I doing here? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting used to these various controls on this thing. This is my my first time. So this is a, I guess, 2026 first for me, going live on YouTube as well as Insta and TikTok. I think this is TikTok, or is this TikTok and is this Insta? I don't know, or one of the two. But whichever it is, great to see you all here. Yeah. So back to the topic about speaking, and I highly advocate for people who would like to speak, because speaking is so integral to connection. It's so integral to spreading your message so that more people can find out about what it is that you care about, what it is that you're passionate about. And when people find out what you're passionate about, that's what helps them, you know, think of you in a slightly different way. Because I think it was Tony Robbins that said it a while ago. We're not in the information economy, we're in the attention economy. Why? The information is already there. It's available, it's readily available. You can find it on Google. You can go to ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity or Claude or Gemini or whichever your favorite one is, and look for it there, and you'll get the information read like within seconds. But it's not about the information, it's about attention. Why? Because when you have someone's attention, they are then actively listening to what it is that you have to say. And when you have someone's attention is when you can have some sort of a relationship with them. And the goal is to have a relationship with them, because as the relationship deepens, trust builds. And with trust, you can then accomplish a whole lot more. You can explore partnership, you can explore synergies, you can explore ways as to how you can work together to support each other's goals and objectives, either professionally or socially. Maybe both of you are very passionate about social impact or doing good in the world, something philanthropic or charitable. You want to help the homeless, or you want to rescue cats like me, or whatever the case is, right? So when you share passionately about something, it allows for others to discover this one new subject. And of course, it is advised that you speak about it, as often as possible, because it's not just speaking about it once and then that's it. You have to speak about it all the time, several times a week, because we are all getting bombarded every single day by a variety of media that we're on, whether it's email or text messages or WhatsApp messages or Slack messages or whatever other kind of messages that we get. And then which message are we looking at? Which message are we acting on? So it all depends on, well, what that message is, right? It also depends on who's sending that message and what your connection is to that person. So it's all about connection, it's all about message, it's about finding your people, and that's what's going to help you really get to where you want to get to, right? So back to the topic of speaking at the United Nations. If there's anyone here that does public speaking, as in you're a professional public speaker, people pay you to speak, or you are someone that would like to be a public speaker, you would like for people to hire you to speak at a conference or at a summit or at a private meeting or at a company's annual general meeting or shareholders meeting or something, whatever the case is, or even speak at the opening of a baseball game or during halftime or whatever the case is, right? So the point is, you may aspire to any one of those speaking opportunities, and one way of doing so, of getting started, is just by doing, right? Start, maybe do a live like this, let people know what you're interested in, and keep at it, right? You'll eventually find people that have a shared interest, or you'll find people that are connectors. So you're speaking on the subject that you're madly passionate about, which could be astrology, or horoscope, or love languages, or laws of attraction. It could be any subject that you care deeply about, and you're constantly speaking about it every single day, or as many days as you can do, and for as much time as you have at your disposal, whether it's 30 minutes a day or 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever the case is. Do it, and then eventually you'll find people that care care about that topic. And it's fine that there are just a specific few people that are tuning in, because not everyone is going to love everything that you say all the time, but there could be certain people that absolutely love what you're saying and keep tuning in because your message resonates with them. Maybe there's something about you, the way that you come across, the way that you show up, the way that you speak. There's just something very believable about you. There's something very credible about you. And that is something that people are latching onto and gravitating towards. Now, obviously, you as the speaker, the one doing the speaking, if you're aware of this, then that's something that you want to keep building on, developing, because as you are effective at engaging people through this medium, on social media, on lives, when done in the same way in an in-person experience, there will be a similar effect. What is this? Okay. And I'm getting a lot of these invites about team match invite. I don't know what a team match is, but okay, whatever it is, we're going to find out. And yeah. So back to the topic of speaking and speaking at the United Nations. So far I've covered as to why anyone would like to speak at the United Nations, what are the different topics to speak at the United Nations. It could be related to what you do for work. It could be related to what you do for fun. So there are like two aspects of speaking, because both of these or one of these is something that hopefully you feel really passionate about, and that passion is infectious and interesting to people that are interested in that topic. So the first step is to identify something that you care really passionate about and start speaking about that one topic. So that's step number one. Step number two is practice. You want to practice your speech. Start with just maybe speaking for a minute, maybe 30 seconds. Start there. talk about what it is that you care about and speak about it uninterrupted for 30 seconds, progressively increase that each time to a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You could also go to places like Toastmasters. And Toastmasters is a global nonprofit that helps people with public speaking. That's its core mission, is to help people. You can attend the meetings for free. You can attend the meetings in person or online. And there are several clubs in New York City, and there are several clubs all over the US as well as all over the world. Toastmasters, I believe, is in like 95 plus countries, all over the world. And you could go to their website. I believe it's, what is it, toastmasters.org. And there's a thing there that says find a club near me. And when you do that, you can discover a club in your city. And that should be one way of you to find resources like that. And these are free. Like I said, you could attend, you could check it out online, and if you like it, you could then inquire further as to how you could speak at any one of their meetings. And usually most of the organizers would be happy to have you speak to address their audience. So that could be one way of you to start your speaking journey. And even though it seems a little bit scary at first, I would encourage you to try it, right? Maybe try it in a closed private setting. You will get better. Just like hopefully I get better at this, at doing these lives. And hopefully when I get all these invites, hopefully I have a better idea as to what they are and how to interact, with it. Oh yeah, I see Jose. Hey, Jose, nice to see you. Nice to see you tuning in. Thank you for the message. Yeah, I hope you and your family are doing well as well. Thank you so much for jumping on. I also see Noah 3 Dunlap. Nice to see you also. And NKM. Wait. Okay, so there's something. Invite as co-host. So again, I don't know what that is. I need to check with people that are better informed about these sort of things as to what all this means. Um, okay. Okay, yeah. So nice to see all of you. Water recycling man. Hello. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. Where are you dialing in from? Oh, I can't hear you. Are you muted? Oh, that's weird. I don't know. I'm not hearing you. Oh, yeah. It's my phone. Yeah, I had it on silent. Okay. Yeah. So where are you dialing in from, Mary? Yeah. Like where? Like, are you? Like, which city are you from? Oh, Phoenix. Nice. Yeah, I was there last year. I spoke at a millionaire mastermind. This was in Chandler, and I like Phoenix because Phoenix is one of the places that has Waymo. The cars that it's kind of like a lift where it's a driverless car, so it kind of goes everywhere. Yeah, so that I saw it for the first time when I was in Phoenix. So
Oh yeah.
have you tried it?
The cars that drive by themselves?
Yeah.
No, but they look cool.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought, wait, is that the car that Google uses to take the photos? You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah, it
looks
looks
like
like
that.
that.
Nice. Yeah. So, by the way, I just wanted to check, did you have a question about either public speaking or speaking for your business or anything like that?
Um, no.
Do you want to like introduce yourself as far as like what you do? Like, do you have a business? Do you have a side hustle? Something like that?
Give me to no, I work at a school.
Okay. Nice. What do you like? What do you do? Are you like a teacher or are you the administrative staff?
I'm a paraprofessional, so I work with the kids with Down syndrome.
Oh, cool. Wow. And like
Yeah.
what got you into that?
Um, I like working with kids,
Nice, nice.
so I learned to work with kids like that, and I have some family that are autism.
Okay, so that's the you kind of like experienced it in your life, and then you were like, hey, this is an area where I can add value.
Yeah, and like to get more like knowledge on how to like work with kids like that, because like my little brother, he has autism too.
Oh, okay. But they say that people that are autistic are actually like secretly geniuses,
Yes,
right?
it's true. You know that? It's super true.
Yeah, so it's almost like the joke's on us because we're thinking that someone who's autistic or someone who's on the spectrum, obviously it's a very large spectrum. You have several people who you may not even realize that they're on the spectrum to begin with because they just they're like exceptional at something. Maybe they're great at you know accounting or math or programming, coding. There's like many things that people on the spectrum are exceptional at because I think when you're on the spectrum, you just have this laser focus on something. And even though you may not have certain social skills, but you're amazing at getting stuff done, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that could be
Like the kids
amazing.
that I work with, they have Down syndrome and they're like super smart. Like you would think that they don't have Down syndrome.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. They're super smart. And there's this student, she has like opposite syndrome. So like if you tell her to do something, she does the opposite. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I would love to meet someone like that. And wait, is it really called opposite syndrome?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a word for it, but from what they told me, it's basically like opposite syndrome. So it's like, and she has, like, you know how you have cells in your, like, your brain,
Uh huh.
like brain cells? There's
Mm-hmm.
certain cells that she has, and she has an extra one that
Mm.
she's not supposed to have.
Hmm.
And then she has an extra one that she's not supposed to have, and then she has one that she's missing.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, so like when I work with her, like if I will have to change her diaper and she says okay, and then she'll walk over there and then she'll say no, 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 and then I say okay, you're not ready. Then I'll walk away and she's like no, change my diaper, and then it's like kind of like a game of going back and forth with her.
Wow, that is interesting. I never knew that there was something called opposite syndrome or a syndrome similar to what you just described. So, yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for telling me about that. I mean, I'm just thinking about, like some of the videos that I watch on Insta or TikTok are like those prank videos where, people are pranking people in a variety of ways. But I think something like this, obviously not to make light of, someone's, like physical condition, but I think that, there are actually many creators that I know that have like some specific kind of issue and they use that
oh
issue
yeah,
to like really make some like very interesting content by because the content is either a way for them to like create an advocacy or awareness around this issue, but because they're approaching it in a very clever creative way, it's like people when they start listening to it or seeing the video or the little skit or the sketch or whatever, they're like, oh wow, like okay, I get it now, kind of thing. And it's a way for people to really understand more about, because it's about just creating the awareness, because not everyone knows everything and we're just kind of restricted by the kind of stuff that we are personally aware of, that we interact with
yeah,
on the daily. So yeah, I think.
There's a lot of schools that like their classes, like if they have autism classes or Down syndrome classes and things like that, they they don't do a lot of inclusion, and our school does. So like our school includes our autism kids and Down syndrome kids into like the other like classes with the other kids, and so that way like they're not being treated differently, because I feel like everybody's the same in every way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that everyone has skills and everyone has gifts, and everyone, I think, requires an opportunity to share their skills, their gifts, their strengths. And I think everyone needs encouragement. You know, uh, they need somebody in their corner saying, like, good job, like, keep going, like, keep trying. uh, you know, I think that is super invaluable, because if you can be a positive force in the world and encourage people, I think it's better than either telling them not to do something or telling them or not saying anything at all. So I think that could be,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that could be, like, really good. And Mary, I gotta commend you for sort of like jumping on this and telling us about this, because you're kind of creating an awareness on these various aspects that, well, I personally was unaware of. I don't know if there's somebody
Yeah.
else in the audience that knew about this, but I was not aware of this. Yes, Down syndrome, yes, I am aware of Down syndrome, have been aware for
It's
many
called
years.
the syndrome she has. It's called oppositional defiant disorder. It's
Oh,
called ODD.
oh, wow, ODD, nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's like she does the opposite of whatever you tell her to do.
Yeah, and she's really defiant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So defiant as in
Do
like,
you do you battle? Do you want to battle?
how do you do it?
I will start it and then you match, and then after that I will. Um, yeah.
Okay, so what do we got to do?
Um, if you have viewers, like they need to send you gifts, and then I have viewers, they will send you gifts, and then whoever wins continues on with the next person.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. Nice, nice. So like in this thing, we're basically just like continuing to talk.
Yes,
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. So this
and
is.
then it can also hurt your life, and then you can win like that too.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Nice. So can I
Yeah.
heart my own life? No, it's not working.
I think. I think you can.
Yeah, I actually tried to. I was clicking on something, but like nothing was happening. So I don't know. Like I don't know what happened. I'm still learning this, admittedly. So yeah, that's my defense. I'm using ignorance as a defense here, because this is the first this is the first time that I'm going live. But yeah, Mary, you are
Oh.
schooling me on many things. So thank you for that. That is amazing.
What are you doing for your life? What's your life real advice for real people?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, this live was started to tell people, or to create a conversation about how, like, motivate people to speak, to think about public speaking. And as they think about public speaking is about advocacy, it's about creating awareness, but it starts with something that you're passionate about, right? So I was
Right.
kind of like starting by telling people about, well, you're either passionate about something, like something related to work or something related to fun, right? So it's either work or fun, business or pleasure. One of the two or both are what people usually are excited about. And then start with one of those. And then start by doing a small little talk, even for 30 seconds. And start, like, practice speaking, because once you practice speaking, you'll get better at it, and just keep at it. And I was talking about how there are organizations like Toastmasters, which is a global
You told
nonprofit.
me.
What was that? Oh,
Oh no, I was telling my supporters,
oh, got it, got it. Okay,
my friends.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so I was uh, informing people about Toastmasters and how Toastmasters is this global nonprofit that's in 100 countries, which trains people on public speaking. So you can like yeah, so you could attend, you could find out more about it on their website, and you could join any Toastmaster club for free. And it allows for you to see people getting trained on how to be a good public speaker. And it starts with small speeches, which are like 2 minutes long, all the way up to 7 minutes to even 14 minutes or 20 minutes. So there, and it's a great resource because you never know when. Save me. That's funny. Yeah, so you never know when the.
Something's wrong with your screen.
Oh, really? Yeah, so it says save me. So I don't know what
Yeah.
that means.
I think you need to be saved.
Oh, so what do people got to do? Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
know what
know.
I don't know what any of this means. But yeah, save me sounds pretty like dire. Sounds like, oh my God. Hey Jose, come on, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, listen, like, all this stuff, right? Okay, so anyway, the yeah, so it's basically about sharing the information so that people know about these various resources that they can use to just be more informed of different places that they could speak at, as well as get better at speaking. Because once you get better at speaking, then you can either speak at the United Nations or do a TED talk, or speak at other places, and even get paid to speak eventually. Yeah, yeah. So it's like that was broadly the motivation behind kind of like doing the live, to let people know about all these resources, as well as tell people about, give give people some tips on storytelling.
No, no.
What was that?
It's because they asked if I have any plans for the weekend, and I
Oh,
don't have any plans for the weekend.
gotcha. Hopefully the weather is good. Like what's the weather like where you are?
It's like 200 degrees.
What? Come on.
I'm just kidding. No, it's pretty hot though.
Oh, okay. Wait. So
Yeah.
wait, are you
Well,
saying it's more than 80? It's hotter than 80 degrees right
um,
now?
um, let me check. It is 100 degrees right now.
What? That is crazy.
Where are you at? What's the weather you're at right now?
I'm in New York City and it's still cold. Like, hello, like, why do you think I'm wearing what I'm wearing? I'm like in this thick hoodie because it's cold. It's like, yeah,
Oh,
it's like 50.
did you come? What's your race?
I'm from this tiny village you probably never heard of called Mumbai, which is in a place called India. That's what,
India?
yeah, that's where I'm
Oh,
originally
what
from.
language do you speak?
Well, I speak English, but India has like 200 languages.
What's your main language? What's the language you first
English,
learned? I mean,
English.
oh,
Yeah,
okay. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought that you were like you learned English or something.
Well, I did. That was, obviously everyone needs to learn a language, right? So the language that I spoke at home was English.
Oh, well, yeah. It's because you know how like some like people like they come from Mexico and they speak Spanish, so they had to learn English. So I
Correct.
thought that you from where you come from, you speak something else, and then you had to learn
Well,
English.
kind of, right? So it's like the English that we speak in India is British English. So that's a little bit different than American English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I guess the original language was British English, and then of course, when I came to America, I had to learn American English, which, I mean, I guess it's superficially similar, but there are a few differences here and there, as far as, obviously how you speak it, use of words, and things like that. Also spelling differences. Like, for example, color, in American English, color is spelled COLOR, whereas in British English it's spelled COLOUR, as an example. So that's like the difference between American English and British English. And there are several other differences as well. Like there are differences in phrases, which kind of like don't don't mean the same thing. Like and also how you say things. Like for example, one of the first in my first few years in America, uh, and I live in New York City. I've been in New York City the entire time, and I would there's this train called the PATH train. So when I first came here, I would ask people because I was new, I didn't know anything, right? So I would ask people, I would say it in British English. I would say, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the path is?" And they'd be, "Huh? What?" I said, "The path. Can you tell me where the path train is?" They were like, "Huh? What?" And then I would be like, "Oh, you silly, you're not saying it right." And then I would say, "Oh," then I stretched it out by saying, "Oh, can you tell me where the path train is?" "Oh, the path train. Yeah, it's over there. Just go down there and make a right." So that's kind of like an example of how American English and British English are like very different. So it's how you say it, but it's also the words like mean certain things as well. Like for example, like like lift, right? So when you say lift, we're typically thinking about like lifting something, like actually like picking something up, right? So the word lift in British English means elevator, you know or to ask someone for a ride. So if you want to ask someone for a ride, like, "Hey, can you drop me wherever?" So you would tell someone, "Hey, can you give me a lift? Can you give me a lift to the train station?" And also that the service Lyft, Lyft, which is the competitor to Uber. So I think that name has been inspired by the British word lift, which means to ask for a ride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, it was nice meeting you. I need to go because I'm gonna battle like another friend.
Okay. Hope you win. I'm sure you will.
Okay. Bye.
See you around. Okay. That was interesting. And okay, so let me see. Flavors by Mana. Yeah, nice to see you. And Tijuan, Nicole, nice to see you as well. Jermaine Perry, nice to see you. Bola, Sigma, nice to see you also. Gerald CM and Quistus Trep. I'm probably not saying that right, but nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Biang, Biang16, and Emily. Nice to see you also. Thank you for joining as well. Let's see. Invite. Lord's Life. Laurel's Life, and Greg. Okay. So, yeah, nice to see you all. Yeah, so this live was about informing people about public speaking. I'm very passionate about public speaking because that's what I do. And that's one of the things that I do. And what is this? Mm, okay. What is going on? Okay, yeah. What does all this mean? Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this live is about public speaking, and it's about telling people as to how you would go about speaking at the United Nations. So I've spoken at the United Nations several times and have done so since 2020. So the first time I spoke at the United Nations was in 2020 at the World Homelessness Summit, where I spoke about solving homelessness by leveraging coaching and technology. And after my speech, the countries of Ghana and Malawi demanded I help them solve child homelessness in those countries. So the point is that when you speak at the United Nations, there's a good opportunity that people who are there may like what you have to say and could end up hiring you. to help them do something great in their country. So speaking at the United Nations has one benefit, which could be you get to help countries, but then you're also helping the people that are leading those countries, which could be their 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 ministers, their ambassadors, their prime ministers, their presidents, etc. Right? Their foreign ministers, their vice presidents, etc. So these are all the people that are involved with running the country. And when you're asked to help a country in solving some problem, you then have the opportunity of interacting with people at that level and essentially becoming their trusted advisor. So that is one of the benefits of speaking at the United Nations. You want to be a trusted advisor because when you're a trusted advisor, well, you're trusted, and then people regard what you have to say with importance. And it's a good way of then building on that and sharing other ideas with them, especially if you have other ideas to do with problem solving, something small or something big or something large. So and I started this off by saying, hey, what are you passionate about? Right? What is the one thing that you're passionate about? It could be something that you do for work, or it could be something that you do for fun, or it could be something that's your side hustle. So you're passionate about something, and that something is what you could speak about. You tell people, you could tell the world why you care about it so much. And in doing so, you then allow for people to learn about it and essentially to help you find your people. Now, why do you want to find your people? Because it's all about communities, right? You want to find people that you have something in common with, and that's what community means. People that there's a shared interest, there's something common, hence common community. Those are the similarities of those words. So community is about people that have something in common, hence the word community, because the word common is in the word community. uh, so you want to build your community, to have people be genuinely interested in what it is that you have to say. And the reason why you want this is because that becomes your audience, and the people that care about what you have to say will then essentially go to town for you. They'll back for you. So when it comes to, you know, you're doing a talk somewhere, if you have, your community are essentially your supporters, your fans, your enthusiasts, and you want people to support you whenever you're, speaking on the subject that these people have supported you on, whatever that subject is. And this is a great way for you to create awareness around that subject, as well as eventually, if the topic is something to do with your work, it could end up getting you paid a lot of money. So this is again a way. This is not some, get rich quick scheme or anything like that, but it is a way for you to establish yourself as an expert in a specific area. And the benefit of being an expert is that you then become part of a relatively short list when people are looking for that specific thing that you have an expertise in, or which you have an elevated advanced knowledge of. So the goal is for the world to know this one thing that you're great at. And yeah, and that is the point of why I'm doing this live, to create the awareness of what is that one thing that you could be good at. And yeah, if I don't know if people have the ability of posting comments here or chats here or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, if anyone has any comments, feel free to post it in the chat if the chat allows for you to post it. And and then Valentina on Instagram joined. Hi, Valentina. Nice to see you. Thank you for jumping on. This live is about talking about public speaking and to help people speak at the United Nations, if that's something that you want to do, or even if you want to do a TED talk or a TEDx talk, any one of those talks, this approach, what I'm talking about, is something that could help in helping you reach that goal, and obviously doing more amazing things after having achieved that. Because once you do a TED talk, that's not the end, that's the beginning, right? Because after TED talk, you might want to speak at the United Nations, or you might want to speak at one of the major forums of the United Nations, like the World Economic Forum or the G8 Summit, or other things like that. Or you might even want to speak at other places like South by Southwest or CES, or or even in front of Congress, at the Capitol in DC, or in front of your local government, because there's something that you care about, that you want for people to know about. And now that you're an accomplished speaker, people know that you speak with power, you speak with passion. So when you show up, everyone goes there because they want to hear you speak. It's the same way as to this guy, what's his name, I forget his name. It's the it's that very charismatic black preacher. I think he's bishop someone. He's in Harlem. I'm blanking on his name, but he, like, whenever he shows up and he's very active in the community, uh, it automatically creates like a media event because he showed up there. So again, the goal is not to kind of become famous for the hell of being famous, or because fame is a goal necessarily. I mean, it could be a side effect, but I think what I would advocate for people to focus on is to really think about what is it, that one thing that you are most passionate about, that if given the opportunity to speak on for 2 to 5 minutes, you'd be able to speak about it uninterrupted and have people really listening in with interest, like saying, "Oh, wow, this is really interesting. Tell me more." Yeah, wow. I didn't know about that. Really? Okay. So that's the kind of reaction that you want from people that are listening to you speak, because you want them, really leaning in with interest, because that's a good sign that your message is really landing here and here. You want it to land resonate in the heart and in the mind. And when you are speaking about something, and the way in which you're speaking about it is very passionate, it's funny, it's memorable, it's humorous, it's intelligent, it's clever, all those things are aspects of making your speech really amazing. So to summarize, I think if there is a takeaway from today's message, the message is this: if you have not started speaking yet on a subject that you care about, I would highly advocate and invite you to speak on that subject. And you could start small. Start with, just speaking. It doesn't matter who you're speaking to. Maybe there's no one. Maybe it's to your cat, to your dog, or your teddy bear. It doesn't matter. But start there. Get into the habit of speaking, uh, get in the habit of structuring your thoughts, structuring your thinking. Make sure your story has a beginning, middle, and end. And by end, I mean a message. Like, what is the takeaway? What do you want for people to take from your message? What is your call to action? Uh, like, what is the point of your story? What is the model of your story, right? So once you have an idea as to what that is, and you structure that into your story and your delivery, eventually, now you when you start initially, it may not be great. It might be a little bit disjointed, but it's okay. You're just starting out, right? And eventually, you'll get better at it with additional practice. And when you go to places like Toastmasters or 1 Million Cups or places like that, which train you on public speaking, well, Toastmasters does. 1 Million Cups, provides feedback on ways that your business presentation could be better. But aside of that, Toastmasters is a great resource. It's a free resource that you could join and benefit from to learn more about the finer aspects of public speaking. And public speaking really is super important because think about it, right? Like all the people that we have elected, regardless of whether you like them or not, they got how did they get there? They got there because they started speaking. They started speaking about something that they cared about. People liked it. They were like, yeah, yeah, we agree with you. And then that's how they started forming their community. I mean, that's how Trump got elected. That's how Biden got elected before him. That's how Mamdani got elected, now, like he's the mayor, right? Mayor of New York City. So all of this in order for people to see you and notice you, one way of getting noticed is to speak about it, and speak about something that you care about, that you have a genuine interest in, because people are then going to feel the passion and be really pulled in into what it is that you have to say. Yeah, so that is uh, UN UNYSE sub DG. Okay, yeah, that's I don't know if that's your business or your user handle, but yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah, this live is about speaking at the United Nations, how to go about speaking at the United Nations, and to summarize, it's about yeah, it's about speaking about something that you excel in, something that you have an expertise in, something that you have a unique point of view in, and it's about sharing that unique point of view. Because when you share that unique point of view, it has value. It has value in the people that are listening, regardless of where that speech is happening. So one part of what I'm saying is start speaking, get comfortable with speaking, so that you're preparing yourself to speak on larger stages, like ultimately the United Nations or a TED stage, or a TEDx or a TED talk, or a commencement address at a school or university, or speaking in front of Congress, whatever your goal is, right? Or to be on TV, to be on TV as a anchor, a news anchor, or as a journalist that's interviewing people. So whatever the your goal is, speaking is something that can help, and I would highly advocate for you to think about it seriously if you haven't done so already. And I'll be doing these lives. I'll try to do it every day if I can, or at least every alternate day, starting at 6 o'clock. And I'll stay on for, I mean, today I've stayed on for, I think, approximately 2 hours. So I'll try to stay on for 2 hours to be of service and value to all of you. And if anyone has any question or comment or anything, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm still learning the technology as to how somebody jumps up and like has a conversation as well. So I don't know exactly how that happens, but I'm sure I will learn that eventually. Uh, okay, Triclaw, yeah, welcome Triclaw, and Mary and Steve. Okay, and Girly Pop Show. Hmm. Solo Bolilo. Okay, that's a cool name. Yeah, thank you for jumping on. Edward Flores, thank you for jumping on. Matt Mindset, thank you for jumping on as well. Yeah, Greg, nice to see you also. Yeah, yeah. So hope everyone that jumped on found some value from today's talk on speaking at the United Nations, how to speak at the United Nations, what is the approach to think about speaking at the United Nations, and the fact that it might seem like, oh wow, it's United Nations, like how do I do it? You can do it. It is possible, but before you get to the whole let me speak at the UN, it's about being ready, right? You want to be ready with your message, you want to be polished, you want to be confident, you want to have it down. And in future lives, I'll be getting into the finer aspects of what it is to be a polished public speaker and what are the different aspects of public speaking. Like, what should your stage game be? You know, how should you use voice modulation? How should you use hand gestures? How should you use facial expressions? How to use audience interaction? Things like that. So I'll be kind of getting into all of that in future broadcasts. So I hope that you join me at those future broadcasts, and love to, I would love to have a conversation with all of you. And Lauren Brooke, Lauren Brooke, nice to see you. Thank you for jumping on. And who else is there? Triclaw. Yeah, nice to see you as well. Thank you for jumping on also. And hmm, okay. Okay, cool. So I think that's about it. So thanks everyone for your time. I'll be jumping off now, and I will see you, Vance Primus. Yeah, nice to see you. I'll be jumping off now, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow at I believe the same time, which is around 6 o'clock Eastern time, 6 p.m. And thank you for everyone that has seen this or will see this. Whenever this gets posted, because I believe it posts, right? I mean, I'm doing this on YouTube too, so hopefully you're seeing this on YouTube or Insta or TikTok. So hopefully I'll see you in one of these many places. So until next time, I'll see you around. Live long and prosper. And yeah, thank you all for joining. It really means a lot, and it's good that I wasn't speaking to the ether, kind of like how I was suggesting some of you might start out. So, but yeah, but thank you. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. So let's kind of